Hi, I'm Meaghan Chitwood, and welcome back to From Overlooked to Consistently Booked, where we have real conversations with real professionals. This month, I'm joined by Dutch Kerr of Swipe for a Cause, and this week we are talking about collaborating with competitors. So this is a really unique topic for people because everyone automatically sees their or generally speaking, more people than not see their competition, immediately cringe, and you have a really different philosophy than that.
Yes, absolutely. No, I don't look at I don't look at the people who are in the same industry, especially even if they're in the same town, as competitors. There's always something that someone specializes in that is different than what you specialize in, or something that you're comfortable doing and they're not comfortable doing. And I think what you do is the first thing you should do is when you meet your competitor, you should sit down and talk to them. Find out what they like about their industry and what they don't like about their industry. And 9 out of 10 times you're going to find that some of the things they don't like to do are things that you excel in. And the things that you don't like to do, they excel in. And when you have that conversation, you can actually work with each other. So if you do have a client, or you have a potential client, and you're talking to them and you're like, well, this isn't really in my wheelhouse. I mean, I can do it, everyone can do it, but is this going to be the best service for them? Well, say, you know what, this might not be right for me, this might not be the right fit, but let me find out. And you call your competitor and say, hey, listen, you should go down and check them, tell them that, you talked to me, and send them down there. And now he's going to excel at it. He or she is going to remember that, and you've already had the conversation. So they're sending clients your way, and you're sending clients their way, and at the same time, you're both developing a really good reputation for customer service because you're doing what you excel at.
So have you always been have that abundance mindset, or did you have to figure that out and get there?
I think it was something that, I think that B&I kind of brings that out in people, because so if you go and sub for another B&I, you're going to run into someone who's in the same industry. And naturally, you're going to have to respect them because that's their B&I. You wouldn't want them doing that to you. And you've already, that's the kind of person that B&I generates. So you're already learning about them, you're listening to them, and you're respecting them. And you realize, okay, well, you know what? While you're sitting there subbing for someone and they're talking about what they're doing and what they're excelling at, if what they're telling you is different than what you're normally doing, well, that's a natural indicator that this person has a different strength than you. And get a one-to-one with them. It all starts with communication.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to talk to people. And I think that, I remember a funny thing, when I first started B&I back, I think it was 2014 or something like that, I remember how nervous I used to get when it was my time to speak. And I have to be honest with you, when I was brand new, I was like, all I was thinking about was me. I heard no one else because I knew it was going to be me. But after I spoke and the nerves went away, I was listening. Like, first, maybe it was a little still self-conscious, like, is there a commercial better than mine? Whatever,
yeah.
Or were they saying something better than what I'm saying? But after a while, you're listening to them and you're like, you start you start processing what they're saying. You start remembering what they're saying, and you start caring what they're saying. So when you go and sub for someone else in a B&I, you're naturally doing the same thing. One of the natural things about B&I is you start, your communication skills improve, your listening improves, your ability to understand other people. And as a result, if you run into a competitor in B&I, you actually automatically respect them and you have something to share. You could go, the best thing is when you have a competitor that you really get along with and you guys go out and have dinner together and you talk about the industry. You can help each other. There's nothing wrong with that. There's so much room. There's so much room to excel if you just communicate, just talk to them. And if you're nervous about something, if you're worried that they're going to talk to them. Say, hey, listen, I've been thinking, or I've been thinking about, what do you think about the way I'm feeling right now? Because I feel like we're kind of stepping on each other's toes. You know what? I was thinking the same thing. Let's figure this out. Work with each other. You're B&I. Why wouldn't you?
It is interesting that it's a culture of people who want to help others, and so
That's
naturally baseline you get there.
Yeah.
But I still think we see a lot of, wait a second, my competition is here.
I think when you're new, you might.
Yeah.
But and one of the things that's interesting about BNI in Alabama or North Alabama, because I've never been in BNI in South Alabama, is that it's kind of taught. That whole balance I was talking about last time, it's kind of that's part of it. The ability to it's kind of just I don't know how they do it, but it's like this natural thing that just you don't feel that competition. You feel that that collaborative spirit. You're working together on a certain thing, and you're on a certain goal, and the goal is to help each other.
Yeah.
I've had many times where I'm like, I know someone I can call for this. He'd be a better fit for this restaurant or something of that sort.
Yeah. I love that. And you're talking about credit card processing as an example. Yeah. Of like, hey, he'd be better for this one than I would be.
And it's a win-win, because what are you going to do down the road if you do get, say, that restaurant or whatever it is, and it's not a good fit? See, the thing that is always true is if you do something wrong, they're going to tell 500 people. If you do something right, 2 people will know. Yeah. Well, just get it right. It doesn't matter. Just get it right. The person's going to be happy if you can find the right fit for them. If you're not the right fit for them, know who is. They're going to remember you did that. They're going to see what kind of person you are to do that, and then you're going to get referrals.
It is the long game versus the short game, right?
That's right.
The short-term sale that's going to create
going
to create pain, because I'm going to call you a million times. You're not going to love it, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then the longer game of, you're right. I think the fastest way to get those 2 people to talk about you is say, this guy referred me to his competitor because his competitor was going to be a better fit for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those guys. I think it's the shocking moments that you create for the customer that makes them sit up and go, "Oh wow, this person actually really cares."
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it. And also for your competitor, they know you care. They care. You're working together to make a good experience for your community, wherever it is.
Yeah.
And it just makes business better. It makes everybody. It all ties together. And if you're all trying to do the best for the client, and you're trying to do the best for each other, and you have that natural curiosity, which I talked about last time, where you're curious about the other person, you're curious about what they do. Why is he in credit card processing? Why are you in credit card processing? That's a great place to start, or whatever business that you're in.
Yeah.
Why are you guys doing the same thing? What brought you there? How did you get into this? How come you're still in it? How come you didn't want to do anything else?
Yeah.
I mean, you start right there, and you've already got a conversation, and you become friends. You live BNI buddies.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. Yeah, it is. Just collaboration is so much easier and leads to so much more success than, this is mine. This is supposed to be mine. It's just I find it just so hard to teach.
Well, I think it's interesting because that is very well explained right there. This is mine. It's not even in the vocabulary anymore. It's what can I do? What can I do for somebody else? Whether they're your competition, a fellow BNI member, or just someone you just meet. What can I do? Your whole life changes. It's giver's gain. I mean, I know it sounds, it is the philosophy, and it sounds a little cliche because we say it all the time, but it's really I don't know what other way to say it. If you give and you give, like you give to the point, you're not giving to gain, because then that's not really giver's gain.
Right.
You're giving because you want to give.
Yeah.
The byproduct is you're gaining. You're gaining respect. You're gaining business. You're gaining self-respect. You're gaining friends. You're gaining everything, and you're starting from a perspective of business where it's not about I gotta kill it. I gotta kill it today. No, that comes later. And that's for your competition or anyone else.
So how do you think that you're thinking through working with competition and things like that? Like, how do you think that it adds to your success?
First of all, you learn more. You're sharing more knowledge. You're learning what the other person can do that you can't do, or you can do. I mean, everyone can. You can find a way. There's always a way. Yeah. But do you want to just find a way? Maybe that person's a little bit better than it, and that's okay. That's okay. Do what you do well. You know, you're learning. You might become better at it, but hey, you know what? Maybe he'll teach you.
Yeah.
It's just you teach each other and you work with each other and you make things better. And then as a result, well, I mean, Huntsville, Alabama has the best credit card processors in the country. Why? Because we all work together. We're not competing against each other, and they all happen to be in B&I. Why? Because givers gain. It's like a natural fit. It just works.
I love that vision, and I love that vision. And the end result of we have the best credit card processing in the.
But look at it from a community standpoint. Let's just take Huntsville, Alabama, not just credit card processing, but any other business on B&I. Well, if you're the best in the country at it, if you're the best that does it, how much is that city gonna thrive?
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think about the value that you get from B&I, the philosophy, the things that aren't taught in business school or anywhere else that are taught in B&I, like the philosophy behind it, I mean, your whole life changes. Everything changes. You stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking about other people, and it's not just business. It's that whole balance we were talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's you balance your life, and why do you balance your life? Because of the people that are important in your life. Because in the end, and I know everybody hears this, you'll never see a U-Haul truck behind a funeral.
Yeah.
And nobody on their deathbed said, "Boy, I wish I worked more."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, amazing way of looking at it, and an amazing life philosophy as well.
Well, I wish I could say it all came from me, but it didn't. It's paying attention to what you're taught and how you do it, and you're there every week.
Yeah.
And every week you're learning something, and I've been in B&Is in other states, and I can honestly say that the leadership team in Alabama is one of the best there is. All the presidents of the chapters, every time I visit a chapter, I'm not just saying that. I mean, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
There's things I like to brag about my hometown and my home state, but one thing that we do have the best B&I down here in Alabama.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the compliment. And thank you for tuning in this week from Overlooked to Consistently Booked. Join us next week as we continue the conversation with Dutch and talk about winning trust by providing solutions and solving problems. If you like real conversations like this, please like and subscribe to the channel and drop us a comment below on something you'd like us to dig into next time. And if you're interested in learning more about B&I and how it could work as a resource for your business, visit northern.bnialabama.com, or if you are outside Northern Alabama, you can visit bni.com. Thank you so much, and tune in for next week.